What is going on, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back to FM Scout TV today for another legend as manager experiment. As always, we're working through the Premier League clubs, and as you can see on your screen today, in his usual pose, of his well-known pose rather, of him taking a long throw-in, it's Mr. Rory Delap at Stoke City. So if you jump back onto the screen here, we're going to have a look at Rory Delap, currently an under-18s manager at Derby County. He was a coach there for a year or two, as well as a youth coach. Ended his career at Burton Albion about 4 years ago, his playing career that is. He's got some decent stats: adaptability at 11, determination at 17, working with youngsters at 14. Again, bodes fairly well for maybe a couple of younger players at Stoke City. But kind of the highlighted managerial stats aren't brilliant. It's 10 for man management, judging player ability, potential and motivation, and just 8 for tactical knowledge. He's going to be I assume going to be playing with a 4-4-1-1 with Stoke, with a direct playing style which probably suits Stoke a little bit more, especially with Wilfred Bonny, the big man up top. An attacking coaching style, adventurous playing mentality, and closing down pressing style. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this pays off for Stoke City on the 2020 managerial contract, as always, as well. But we'll have a quick look at his achievements with Stoke City. They got runners-up of the Championship back in 2008. Obviously got promoted then. They finished runners-up in 2011 of the FA Cup. So we're going to have a quick look at him as a manager. If we go on to Stoke City, had a number of years there. They got him on loan when they were back in the Championship from Sunderland, then got him on a free as well. So overall had some really decent years there. If we jump onto Stoke City, go on to general, the media are predicting them to finish at around 11th place. We'll have a look at Rory Delap. He's not actually coming up as a icon or favoured personnel here. Maybe there was a couple of other people that we maybe could have done for this one, but there was a lot of requests for Rory Delap as manager. Maybe Mark Steen, maybe a couple of you may have heard of him, or even Ricardo Fuller, who's now a free transfer on the game, if anyone was interested in that. So yeah, we're going to skip forward a year as we normally do, and we're going to see if Rory Delap can force his way maybe onto the favoured personnel or the icon stage of this, and expecting him possibly to try and push for a top half finish. I know the media predicted 11th, but we've got some decent players at his disposal. Shaqiri, as I said earlier, Bonny, even Shawcross now as well. So let's skip forward a year and let's see how well Rory Delap does. So we skip forward a year and no Stoke on insecure jobs or available jobs. So this bodes well for Rory Delap, who we're going to have a quick look at now. He certainly is still the manager of Stoke City. All the stats seem to look the same. Happiness, he's content with life at a club he loves. And everything kind of looks very, very similar. Same contract, etc. as well. One thing I didn't look at, his favourite clubs is Stoke as a player, along with Carlisle, who he obviously supports. So, interestingly, Pep Guardiola is his friend as well, which I'm guessing is a kind of relationship he's made during this season. So Stoke City, whereabouts did they finish? Finished 10th, which is around about where we expected to see them finish overall. We can obviously have a look at how well they did, etc. So transfer history. They brought in 3 players. The first one on a free was Angel Lafita on a free transfer. He's a winger. He only started 3 games for them, coming off the bench in 17 games. 1 goal, 2 assists, a 6.61 average rating. Played 1 game, 2 games in the FA Cup, started 1 coming off the bench in 1. 3 games in the Czech Trade Trophy as well, where he played a little bit better for the younger sides, despite being the age of 32. Obviously, probably not quite cut out for this level of football, if I'm honest. Spent much of his career at Zaragoza over in Spain, Getafe as well, and had a little stint in UAE. They've also brought in Marko Grujic on loan from Liverpool, started 23 games, had a very decent season from central midfield, scoring 5 goals, played every game in the FA Cup. Seems they did fairly well if he played 5 games. And they also spent 875k, possibly rising up to 2.2 million on Greg Kiltie from Kilmarnock, and for some reason, he's out on loan. He's out on loan at Orlando City. So did he play any games for Stoke? He played 1 game coming off the bench in the league. Didn't have the best of games, so he's obviously got loaned out in April, interestingly. So looking at their outs, no one really of note. Well, Jonathan Walters went to Derby. Didn't do too well in the Championship, but I'm guessing he played more kind of on the wing. Daniel Bachmann went to Barcelona for 57k. Not the best looking goalkeeper in the world, but no surprises that he's been chucked straight to the Barcelona B side. Other than that, a couple of loans out. Julian Ngoy went to Inverness. Dominic Telford and Daniel Bachmann had a little loan stint before he did leave the club. So Stoke City, let's see how well they did. So media predicted 11th, finished 10th in the league, and look how close they were to European football, finishing just 3 points off. Their goal difference did let them down slightly, and we're obviously going to have a quick look at the schedule to see where maybe a couple of results let them down. But very close to European football. It's very unlikely that any team will get as close to this. There was even West Brom and West Ham who probably should have got it. Even Sunderland were just 4 points off, and even Leicester with a couple of more points. So with Liverpool finishing 5th and winning the FA Cup, which we'll have a look at shortly, that allowed an extra Europa League spot. Stoke actually got all the way to Wembley into the semi-final of the FA Cup, but lost out to the eventual winners Liverpool, and lost out in the 4th round of the EFL Cup, which was won by Arsenal. Going on to the schedule now, though, you can see they had a really decent start to the Premier League, winning the first 3 games under Rory Delap. Liverpool, they beat Sunderland and Burnley. Went on a little stint where they really struggled to get any momentum going. You could see this as a negative or possibly a positive, as towards the end of that run, they went 5 unbeaten. Never really consistent, though, which probably let them down slightly. Made this 2-1 loss to Swansea, 2-2 draw against West Brom. Even if they did win that, they wouldn't have got the European spot. A big loss to Man City, which kind of hindered their goal difference slightly as well. But towards the end of the season, really, they must have been doing fairly well. But maybe 1 or 2 wins, or maybe 1 or 2 points more around this sort of area would have seen Rory Delap claim a very unlikely Europa League push. Obviously, the FA Cup run may have got in the way. They had a decent start. Ched Evans scoring in between 2 goals from Saido Berahino and Glenn Johnson as they beat Chesterfield. Birmingham took them to a replay at St Andrews and took it back to the Bet365 and got a 2-1 win. Beat Hull 3-2 at home and beat Chelsea on penalties as well in Bula with a brace. And Hazard scoring right in the 120th minute, but obviously it wasn't enough for Chelsea. And then 2 first-half goals from Liverpool cancelled out Wilfred Bonney's goal in the second half as Stoke lost out in the semi-final of the FA Cup. In the EFL Cup, they beat Blackpool, Brighton, and lost out to Middlesbrough in the end, a late goal from Adam Clayton. Looking at the tactics, though, he was implying that 4-4-1-1 formation. Jack Butland looks like he had the running goal over Lee Grant. Few players on loan there. It would have been interesting, and maybe in the overall experiment at the end of this series, to see how he kind of replaces these players, because he's done fairly well, I feel, and 1 or 2 more wins under Rory Delap, and Stoke really could have had a push for top 6 football. Wilfred Bonney, though, arguably one of the better players, along with Grujic and Martins Indy, all players on loan, which obviously would be going out. If we look at the players, though, as well, most appearances in the end was Ryan Shawcross with 47, Shaqiri with 47 as well, albeit 46 starts. Most goals was Saido Berahino with 13. Wilfred Bonney, who actually didn't start that many games, grabbed 11 goals. And the most assists was Shaqiri with 11, Arnautovic with 6 as well. And the best average rating was Eric Peters along with Mbula. So, having a quick look, Jack Butland only played 10 games. Lee Grant had the majority, if I'm honest. I think Jack Butland does start off injured, though, in the end. And I'm pretty sure, unless they're being offered new contracts, a lot of players have their contracts expire here. Some decent players. Obviously, the guys out on loan as well. Lafita, Adam, and Phil Barsley. Kind of all aging players, I suppose, but it'll be interesting to see how well they do. And there's some bigger players on bigger contracts, such as Berahino and Shaqiri, which will probably be difficult to keep hold of. But I feel Rory Delap's done a fairly decent job. As I say, 1 or 2 more decent wins, and he could have got the rather lucky position at 7th place and won a Europa League football spot. For him as a manager, though, he didn't win any Manager of the Month awards, despite them starting off quite well in the end. Having a quick look as well, got 40% win percentage, which I don't think is too bad at all. 19 games won, 16 lost, and 12 games drawn. Obviously, that is helped along with the fact that they did fairly well in the FA Cup as well. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button down below, leave your suggestions, have a quick look at the playlist first to see what clubs we still haven't done in the Premier League. Subscribe to FM Scout if you're new. You can always check out my channel, a link to that is in the description. We're currently doing some 1860 Munich over in the Bundesliga. It's possibly my final season, but make sure you subscribe so you can check out my brand new series when that drops very, very soon. Also do some real life football stuff over on there. And as always, if you need any Football Manager stuff in the meantime, you go and check out fmscout.com for graphics, tactics, databases, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll catch you all very, very soon.